Today, I'm going to have a tour level wedge fitting.
First ball of the day. No. It kind of look cool on mine. Right, you good? Okay.
You know, I'm quite a fan of on those shorter shots to almost.
That was just a reaction to somebody saying I had a lot of control over the golf ball for the first time in my life.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I thought
It's not that kind of channel. It always makes me queasy when I see that.
How does that feel?
I was dazzled by your legs, to be honest. I mean, do you not have a weather app on your phone, Laurence? No. Hey guys, how's it? Oh, okay. Timings again.
Take 2. Better than take 7.
Yeah, we might get there. We might get 7, yeah. Probably will.
Get there.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm back at SGGT at South Chesterfield with Master Fitter Laurence Pawley. Laurence, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you, buddy. Really good. Nice to have you back.
Great to be back. And so you've fitted me for a driver, you've done my fairway, my hybrid, you did Zach for his irons. Today, I'd like to try some wedges.
Yeah, so we've done some quick maths,
Yep.
and with our sort of setup at the moment, across all the manufacturers and shafts and stuff, we've got over 4,500 combinations to have a go at. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to find you something that'll tick all the boxes for you today.
Excellent, so I'm looking at something to replace my 50, which is actually a 49, my 56 and my 60. I'm really open to what brand it is, and you've got a fantastic selection here. When I came in, I thought this was like an irons wall, but obviously you've got that all over there. This is just wedges, and you've got them all in left hand as well.
Yeah, so we've got the full complement of like your Vokeys, your Taylormades, Callaways, Clevelands, Ping, Mizunos, even some sort of Epons as well that are a little bit different and more unique. Right and left-handed along the wall as well. We've got, you know, your Nippon shafts, your Dynamic Golds, your KBSs, and even like your LA Golfs, your Acras and your BGTs as well. So big array for us to have a go at, varying different lengths, and obviously we can change the lie and loft, so it really fine-tunes with what you need. So.
Perfect. Well, so I'm completely brand agnostic, so I'm completely in your hands as always.
Perfect. Right, let's get going. So, going to get you to hit a few shots with your pitching wedge, just so we can gauge where our sort of limit is on what we're then trying to backfill from there backwards. So,
perfect. Just
measure the loft. It's 44 on your power spec I230s. Obviously, it's the lie angle that you would typically play in the shaft and so on that you were fitted with at Ping. So we'll get you hitting about 4 or 5 shots, just straight over the 100-yard board in front of us. And then once we've gathered all that together, we'll then work out how we backfill that from there, and then understand sort of how your club interacts with the mat to start with. Get a few sort of bounce options available, and then we'll go through some different shafts and heads and so on, and then we'll take some out onto the turf as well.
First ball of the day. No!
There's a delete for that one.
I might keep it in the episode though.
I've deleted it off here. Another pair of shoes, Paul, by the way.
Oh, these old things. Yeah.
These old things. So we've got about 110 yards as your average carry. That's over the sort of 6 good shots that we've seen. Okay. And from there, what I would look at is we're going to have a look at your vertical angle, so we hit down on the golf ball. Your front to back dispersion's about 7 yards, which is quite typical for where your sort of handicap level is. Dynamically, you deliver plenty of loft at 40 degrees, so you know you're only really taking 8 degrees of loft off that particular golf club. And yeah, it's not too bad at all. I really like the fact that you've got a really steep angle of descent. If you have that, you've got lots of control. It's why, you know, there's no forward movement on your pitching wedge really, and when you're on the golf course, that probably is about right. So then what we're going to do, we're going to see how far you hit your 50, and you said you use it for sort of 60, 70 yards up to 100. So what I want to do, first of all, we're going to use it for like a fullish swing. We don't need to see many shots, just about 3 or 4 again. And then I'm going to just get you pitching towards this sort of 60-yard white flag there just on the mound. And that's just so that I can understand how you sort of angle of descent is into the golf ball, how you change, if you do change, with how you deliver the club on a shorter swing. Lovely shot, that.
Thank you.
Nice strike.
I think when I go for this kind of range with this club, I've got a bit more control than say my 56, so I'm to that a little bit harder. So I'd still use the 56 this range if I had to go over something and get it to stop a bit sooner, but this would be the...
And it's just the fact that you feel you've slowed your swing down and you feel you've got more control over that, or shorter?
I think so. I had a lesson with Chris Hansen where we did a sort of there to there with every wedge, and 50 went sort of about 52 yards. I think if I've got 60, I've just got to go a little bit further, yeah.
Lovely shot. Nice, and if you could just play just this first flag here for me. That's about your 20 yards.
20, okay.
Just want to see, because we'll do that over a couple of different lofts as well, just so that we can see what happens, how things come in and out, etc. So like the 50 degree, when we start to get a fuller swing, you're a little bit shallow, so, which is quite typical because you have a longer follow through, there's more momentum, you rotate your body a little bit more, there's less hands and arms movement. So typically most people will become a little bit shallow when they're in a fuller swing. So difference between your pitch and wedge and 50 degrees, almost negligible. They're both about 3 degrees on the down. Yeah. As we start to slow that shot down and you play it shorter, we get up to like 4.5, 5 degrees down. So you actually become more of a descending blow on there, and you actually take a little bit more dynamic loft off it as well. So with that, it shows that if you do tend to play this club for a few more shorter shots, we do want to look at the bounce a little bit more and maybe look at where you are and whether we increase that marginally just to make it smoother on the shots, that when you have all that speed and momentum on a full swing, it's not as relevant as what it is when you take that speed away. You need that ability for the club to glide that little bit more through the turf. So we'll look at the bounce a little bit more on the 50. We'll do the same with your other wedges. So we'll just go into 56, is it?
Yeah.
Lovely shot.
Oh, it's the flag. So as you can probably see on my wedge, the 56 is the one that I use in the bunkers, and it is wearing down quite a lot there. I've had this maybe, what, 18 months, do you think, something like that?
Probably a bit more.
A bit more, yeah. So how often, and obviously I'm playing at least twice a week, so how often should people really think about replacing their wedges?
It's very much dependent on the type of shot you're trying to play.
Okay.
If it's a club that you're super reliant on stopping power, spin, etc., then you want to look at how regularly you use it during a round of golf as well. Some people, your 50 degree, probably you want to change it as much as you change your irons across the board, because typically you're not using it for sort of high spin shots. The ball's designed to roll a little bit more with that sort of loft profile, and it's not like you're using it out of bunkers or in sort of sandy areas around the green where sand spills out from there, where you get that sort of gritty contact that can wear the grooves down quite quickly. So ultimately, that not so much as say the 56 and 60, they're probably sort of every 2 years or so, 1 or 2 years. It depends on how regularly you play and where you play as well.
Sure.
If you're going to play a very heathlandy golf course that doesn't have have a sand based sort of turf, then they'll last longer than if you're playing a links golf course.
Makes sense. Because
obviously links golf course is heavily sanded. You're hitting wedge shots at, that little pitch shot's at 55, 60 miles an hour. Well, that's basically sandpaper hitting your wedge at 55, 60 miles an hour quite regularly. Yeah. And if you go and practice a lot on turf as well, they'll wear faster than if you practice a lot on mats. So
of course,
probably more lofted ones more regularly than the sort of less lofted ones. So there is logic behind it. And also when you feel or see the balls not reacting like you would typically see it, that's a good point to have. I'm quite a fan of on those short shots just to maybe dead ball it a little bit more out of the toe, just takes a little bit of that speed out, enables you, because you have probably a marginally longer sort of swing for those shots than you'd probably like. Just having that ability to have a consistent strike, a bit more to the toe is obviously good. Dynamic lie for you is probably about right with your sort of lie on the golf clubs as well. You do play the handle quite high, so I want to look at maybe how that toe relief looks on a dress as well. But ultimately, I'd probably say we need to look at a bit of grind, where that relief sits for you and how that works with the turf. And yeah, I've got a few ideas in mind, so I'm ready to go.
Okay, so what we're going to start off with?
So from sort of the numbers we looked at,
Yep.
I'm going to go with a 48 degree, 10 degree F grind from the SM10, the Vokey. The reason being, I'm going to bend it 1 week,
Yep.
which I've already done, and that's going to give us a little bit more bounce in there. And the reason being, as you start to take that speed away, I think you do just need a fraction more bounce than what you were playing. But we want to get to that right number that gives us that 100-yard shot. Going to keep a sensible amount of weight in there. So we're going with the KBS 610 wedge shaft. So it's a very specific shaft for wedges. Generates loads of spin, and hopefully for us it'll give you enough dead weight as well to give you some control at 115 grams.
Okay. Obviously my wedges are all sort of the full toe grooves, but I think that makes me focus a little bit more, you know, on where to hit it.
Be a bit more deliberate.
Yes. That was very easy to hit.
Weight-wise, how's that feel?
A little bit lighter, perhaps.
Okay.
Feels really nice at impact.
So I'm happy with the loft straight away.
Yeah.
First one, 97.
Yeah.
That one, you're averaging 1018
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So hit a couple more and we'll see how we get on. It may be that we might have to look at it a little bit so that we're not getting a bit too far.
And obviously I'm gripping right at the end because mine are that little bit longer.
So we do have the varying lengths as well. This
Okay.
is one of our longer shafts that we have in the wedge fitting. So again, 101 there.
Perfect.
So it's hitting all the right numbers,
Yeah.
and I quite like how we're marrying in with that angle of attack as well. I think maybe lie-wise we could probably get away with a little bit more upright, but you said it felt a little light.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, I'll throw something in that's a bit heavier for you, see how you feel with that. We're going to add another 10 grams here. Going to switch to the Modus 3, 125.
And these are all specific wedge shafts.
So we carry a lot of specific wedge shafts,
Yeah.
and then we've obviously got the sort of normal sort of iron spec wedge shafts as well. But yeah, we have sort of like your S400 tour issues, your zones from BGT, your LA Golf specific wedge shafts as well, and then you've got sort of an array of KBS high revs, your 610 wedges, and then sort of like your X7s, S400s, 115s, and then your Modus wedge range as well. So lots of options to have a go at. How does that feel?
I was dazzled by your legs, to be honest. I mean, do you not have a weather app on your phone, Laurence?
No.
Okay, that'll be why. Yes, it feels... What are we talking about?
My legs.
Okay, let's get back to golf.
I didn't IMAC this morning, sorry.
Excellent, yeah. Is that going a bit higher?
Yeah, fraction higher.
Okay.
So you're up at sort of 96 feet, landed at 56, 105 on the full swing.
Did I hit it better with the first shaft?
I thought you struck it better.
Yeah.
This one just seems to be a little bit here and there.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just spraying it across the face,
Yeah,
and that can be a weight thing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Strikes back.
Yep. Felt nice.
It sounds a little cleaner, that as well.
Yeah.
Not jumping off you as well, where
Yeah.
I think that light one, there was one that just went that little bit
Okay.
too far. Whereas this one, you've just hit both on the money, 99 yards. Again, this will be quite similar as well. Yeah, so there's only 4 yards difference between those three shots. So again, we're looking for that consistency. We're looking for that ball to not jump off the face. Like that shaft.
Yeah, like that.
Big fan. Just play a couple to that 60-yarder. Consistency of the strike here. See, that looked very, very simple.
Yeah.
Looked like you had a lot of control as well.
That was just a reaction to somebody saying I had a lot of control over the golf ball for the first time in my life.
Yeah. Not surprised.
A little bit thin, but okay. Felt nice.
Nice flight to it as well. It's not overly shoot. And what's nice that I see there is when we first went in with your wedges, we had a one go long, one go short. Whereas these have been quite consistent. If anything, they're a margin short, but we have increased the shaft weight from what you're used to playing. So it's expected for them to be a little bit shorter. But front to back dispersion's only sort of 4.5 yards. So again, quite consistent. And if anything, your sort of delivery's stayed consistent as well. It's only fluctuated sort of 1 degree, so very nice. So you look at where you are there, it's sort of 5 feet top to bottom on the full swings, 4 on the 60s, and then 1 foot on the 50s. So very, very consistent. And I think as long as we keep that dead weight there, I think that's where you'll gain quite a lot of control. So I'm really happy with that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to look and see where we go from there. We're going to keep with the same model heads, so we'll stick with the SM10s just so that we can have a little look at sort of bounce and grinds and stuff. And then once we've established where we need to be, and I'll give you some ones that shouldn't work and some ones that would be more pleasurable for you to hit. We'll try and work in and around those, and then basically get to the point where we're like, that's going to work.
Sounds good. Okay, 56.
Yeah, so in the 56, we're going to go into the 12D. The reason being, more bounce than what you're currently playing, but also it has a margin more relief through the heel. I think if you do get into that sort of stage again where you struggle with 60, whether it be through confidence or whatever, I think having a slightly more versatile club that you feel confident with would be more beneficial in the bag. So because you can sometimes stand the shaft up a bit, it has a little bit of toe relief through the 56 as well as heel relief. But it does camber a little bit more on that front leading edge. So you'll find it quite smooth on the shorter shot. So again, what we'll do, we'll go into that sort of mid-range flag and then to the short one and see how it pans out. How does that feel? Sort of like through the mat.
It feels really good. It feels really good. I'm conscious I'm not quite getting them there.
Yeah, but that's fine for me. The distance is something that we can work on through sort of obviously just getting used to the different feels and stuff. But what I quite like is if we look at your top to bottom, so your height, it's only fluctuated a foot.
Wow.
So the consistency of flight has been very good. And again, strike pattern's been very consistent. You know, a little bit towards the toe, and I think that is just generally how you deliver the club. You naturally get that path going a little bit left. So you're always withdrawing that club from impact. I like that a lot. So if we went and just gave you something where we take all that bounce off, just so that you can feel the difference between the two, and we'll play that shorter one where it really is gonna give you that different sensation. So we'll go from the 12D into the 8M. So again, similar sort of heel relief and toe relief in the sole, but it's got 4 degrees less bounce on there than what we just had. So what we should experience is something that's going to drag and just feel like it tugs a little bit as it moves through the turf. And
is there a trend of people going with less bounce? I mean, I saw something with Poulter the other day and he had a wedge with 4 degrees of bounce on it. Is that extreme?
No, I think it's technique based. Really. You know, ultimately, if you're a very shallow, sort of really rounded sole of the arc, bottom of the arc, then you're not going to require a lot of bounce. If you're someone like me who, you know, I pick it up and I slam it down, I need loads of. I play a 14 degree K grind in the 60 because I do it more. Whereas actually my sort of 50 degree that I have in my bag, I'm very much a much wider, shallower arc. So it's just how I prefer to deliver those particular clubs. It's all relative to delivery, in my opinion. Okay, nicely done. So you are changing your technique marginally. You started hitting it a little bit differently, a little bit shallower. And with that, your strike pattern's gone right towards the heel.
Interesting.
Very similar sort of results. You could probably play either. I think the relief's helping a lot, and obviously off the mat, this is where we'd probably take both out onto the turf and try them and see what you prefer in that sort of situation. But both quite similar because of the relief and the shape on the sole. I'd probably say for where and typically you play your golf, I'd probably for your misses as well. I'd drive you a little bit or encourage you more towards the D. And like I said at the start, we want to probably get your dead weight up a little bit. So we're going to jump into Taylormade. So this is the HBW, so it's the higher bounce wide sole. Still has a very soft camber through the heel, but it's a little bit wider and broader. So for when you're playing those sort of squarer face shots, you feel like you're not going to dig in as much. Highly textured across the face as well with the milling, so you can see all these sorts of little diagonal lines going across there, and it's a raw face, so it will rust up as well. So again, that little bit heavier natural head weight, just boom, get that yardage back.
Got a couple of those heavy.
Okay. Again, it's just...
This didn't quite feel as clean as impact. I thought it was a bit more inconsistent in the delivery there.
Okay, a little bit more drag to it than where you were with the Vokey.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's incredible the amount of choice you've got now. I mean, obviously, Wedge is a big business.
Yeah, with the variety as well, and we can do stamping and other bits and pieces, laser etching, which is quite a cool thing that we offer.
Excellent.
It's definitely something that we see a lot of nowadays, a lot of wedge fittings. So this is the RTX 6. This is their fuller bounce. Much better. You look more confident there. Give it a bit more of a hit.
I think, because I didn't know because I was talking at the same time and men can't multitask. But I think one side, I know I've got the confidence that the club's going to do what the club's got to do and it's going to stop. Then I think I will be confident in hitting it a bit harder. I think my wedge shots, I tend to always be, you might as well be 5 foot past the hole than 5 foot short, won't you? And I tend to always be that little bit short on them.
You know, if it's never up, it's never in.
Exactly,
right? Okay. Interesting. Over all the changes we've made head-wise, you've not struck it anywhere near as clean as what you did that second Titleist that we had in. So the new Opus here.
Oh, nice.
So this is quite similar in bounce. I've lofted the 58 up, so we get to 60. So it gives us the same number and very similar sort of sole to what we were in that K grind in the Titleist as well.
That is a pretty looking club, isn't it? These are only just recently out as well, I think, aren't they?
Lovely shot. Yeah, very nice. Nice. So again, getting you to the right spec, we'd have to go 58 and weaken. To get the right bounce on the club, but that's ultimately it never matters what's on there. It's just how it works.
Wafted that one a bit. The other three were really nice.
Just a little wafty that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, another lovely shot.
That's nice.
A set of the Opus and a set of the Vokeys, and we can have a little play around with them on the turf.
Awesome.
All right.
So one of the plus points about using SGGT is they're going to build all the clubs for you here, and with the wedges, they can actually put a bit of grind on them, which you're not going to get from just buying from the normal golf shops. We've got Jordan here who's going to take a bit of grind on that, and I'm going to get out of the way.
Perfect. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So now we're out here on the short game area. We're going to put the two sort of higher lofted wedges against each other and just see which one's working best for you in a variety of different lies in and around the chipping green, and then we'll get you out on the onto the bunker as well. We've put your grip on there, so that mid-sized MCC. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
So start off with the Opus.
What we want here from a feel from the club is that it's not digging, dragging. We feel like there's nothing stopping that club from finishing your follow through. Should feel very easy and comfortable, and also as it reacts on the ground, we should see it stop quite quickly. Yeah.
The other two felt really nice.
What's nice was that third one, even though it wasn't great, still got to the right spot, still got you to the right distance, so that's good.
Let's try that middle one a bit nearer.
Lovely shot. Okay.
Very good.
Swap heads.
This is great. I can use the same shaft, just put it in all different heads.
Exactly. Everything goes in exactly the same way as what it was, and you just click and go. Right. It makes it very simple. You know, same length, same shaft, same grip. The ability to change grips as well, so you use your actual grip that you'd play on the golf course. Lovely shot.
We've never had an episode or a fitting where you said lovely shot as much as you noticed.
No, not noticed.
I think you said it loads today.
Maybe once or twice.
We'll see on the playback, yeah?
Quite like that.
Yeah.
There's one where you've got a little diggy. It's just where you lead with the hands, which you don't typically do. Like I said at the start, you do present quite a lot of dynamic loft, so you do hit that sole into the ground. Okay, just go into that back flag.
One with the cameras.
Yep.
Oh, crikey.
Not
the back flag on the fourth hole.
No.
Got it. Right.
No.
Sorry.
Not on the golf course. Try and keep it on the short game area, Paul.
Oh dear.
Lovely shot. That was nice.
I can feel the interaction with the ground's a bit different.
Yeah.
Impact, I feel like I am. It's more descending, but I'm feeling more ground with this one than I was with the other one.
Okay.
Not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I just.
What, in terms of like a hardness to the contact with the ground?
Yeah, I couldn't necessarily feel the contact with the ground with that one.
Okay, we'll just flip back.
Yeah.
Just like we saw in that little bit of grind, I think this one would be better for you with a little bit of like a pre-worn leading edge.
Yeah.
Just for as you take that speed off, you keep the bounce on.
Yep.
Whereas I think the Vokey in this particular setup has come out with that already.
Yep. Shot's gone high.
Nicely done.
Very consistent, those. I think the hands invited themselves to the party on that one.
Couple more, then we'll quickly swap back so we can just double check. That's the one.
Camera.
Yeah, right.
We good?
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to go with the Vokeys.
Yep.
Like I said, when the guys get into the build, they'll put a pre-worn leading edge on the front of here just to help with sort of some shorter shots. We'll hit a couple of little bunker shots just to check as well. Lovely shot. See, ultimately that's where you're going to generate the spin, that separation, and also having that big wide sole there. You can hit it quite hard and still get that lift, and even that little heavy. It's coming up and out. And this isn't a shallow bunker by any stretch of the imagination. It's still quite a deep bunker.
Up the ground there.
But look at that.
Yeah.
Like, they're really good shots.
Laurence, that was really interesting. I didn't realise how inconsistent I was with my wedges before, not just the delivery, but different flights and stuff. And within a few shots, we could already start tightening it up, so that was brilliant.
Yeah, I think finding the right sort of weight shaft and getting the consistency from that, coupled with sort of looking at how you deliver the club, especially over a variety of different length of shots. We've increased the bounce pretty much across the board for you. We've given you a little bit more versatility in your main wedge, your 56, with that heel relief and toe relief on the 56 12D, and then giving you a little bit more bounce in the 60. I think when we get that sort of leading edge relief as well, that sort of pre-worn front leading edge, you're going to find a little bit more variety of shots that you can play, especially when you go up to St Andrews and play up there on that slightly harder sort of links turf. But yeah, I think across the board we found a lot more consistency in flight just by increasing the bounce a little bit for you. So yeah, hopefully these work really well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always found wedges a little bit tricky to hit because it's not a full swing and you're worried about things going wrong and stuff. They just got the ball up in the air so easily. They're all really easy to hit.
Yeah.
Really excited about those. Brilliant. Okay.
Perfect. Right.
Well, and what a facilities. We've got all these different models. You know, we had thousands of combinations. We've also been out on the short game area as well. So if you think about wedges, why would you go anywhere else, guys? So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Laurence, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much,
Real
buddy.
pleasure as always. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you, always.
Guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, give it a like. If you loved it, give it a subscribe and tell your mates. And we'll see you next time on The Golf Show.
Thanks again for your time today. Just a quick review of what we did. So we looked at your pitching wedge, strike pattern and how you were delivering it. We then went through your 50 degree on the sort of a variety of shots that you play. Then went through your 56 and then we went through 50 degree and your 60. From there, we then went through several different shafts. We tried some lighter weight ones, which we saw were popping up a bit high and drifting off. The heavy ones, we just had inconsistencies of strike. And then we settled on that KBS 610 120 that we found more consistency with. We tried several different options of head. We ended up with the Vokey SM10s in the Tour Chrome with a KBS 610 120 shaft. With that, we've gone with the slightly higher bounce options. So we are in the 12 degree F in the 50. We are then in the 12 degree D grind in the 56. And the 14 degree K grind in the 60. We're going to put a pre-worn leading edge on that through the grinding that we do during the build process. And if you need anything else from me, please feel free to let me.
I hope you enjoyed the episode of The Golf Show. To watch another, click here. To subscribe, click here.